All right, boys, welcome back. This is another market recap. I'm just going to quickly go over this morning's price action, why I didn't take a trade, what I'm going to be looking for in tonight's session. So, coming into today, I was looking for mainly sells. However, I wanted to see us come and actually sweep out a high before taking those sells. And I was definitely open to the idea of looking for a long. Say we swept this low and then took a long up to fill in equilibrium from these range highs to these range lows and fill in this 4 hour imbalance. Those were sort of my two options for the day. And the reason I was happy to take longs is because if you come in here on GU, we've just started getting a sell off now, but we've just been sitting inside of this 4 hour bullish fair value gap. And so obviously I am going to want to see longs out of this. EU is saying the exact same thing. We want to see longs out of this. And we're just printing bullish structure. We were sitting in a similar position on EJ. And realistically, for the day, all I was looking for was some sort of sweep to go long, or either, mainly a sweep to go long, because I want to be trying to keep those four peers in sync with each other. That was where I was looking today. We didn't even get a sweep to the downs. Like, you look at this down movement here on EJ, we've moved a total of about 80 odd pips to the downside. We never came up, swept out this high. Sure, we might have reacted off of this, but like I said, we never came into equilibrium, and I would have liked to see that sort of get hit before seeing that sell off. So there was nothing there for me this morning, and that's just how it goes. But coming into tonight's session, obviously we've come down, we've taken out these lows over here on GJ. That's a daily point, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's a daily draw on liquidity. And I would like to see us sort of start getting legs up. We have a big to be formed imbalance right now, and the 4 hour time frame sort of saying the same thing. There's definitely potential for us to get some sort of retracement up in here. And with GU and EU once again looking like they want to print bullish structure, depending on how this candlestick here closes, that'll sort of determine my overall bias for tonight. But right now, I'm definitely thinking that GJ and EJ are just going to chop around, and hopefully we can just chop around here as well, get some sort of generated liquidity, which we already have through this morning's session, through last night. You see here we have really solid draws on liquidity to target to the upside. That's sort of what I'm looking at tonight. And yeah, I actually might as well, I'll turn this into a trade recap as well of a trade that I took last night on NQ. So this was the New York session. Obviously didn't trade this morning, didn't trade yesterday morning, didn't trade yesterday evening, took a trade on New York session last night. Bagged a loss. Alright, so coming into the session, I knew that we had really good draws on liquidity to the downside. You look at this and think there's definitely potential for us to come short today. I saw this sweep of these hourly highs on market open, and I saw this sweep of these hourly highs on market open. We formed a high time frame SMT, and from here I was looking for a sell-off. Now, I watched Justin Werling's video this morning, and he was saying that the reason for this initial bearish sell-off was just to fill in equilibrium to balance out price action before doing the actual move, which was bullish up to these highs. But realistically, in the moment, I was just seeing it as we have this high time frame SMT. We broke structure on this 5-minute time frame with this candlestick here. This was on ES. NQ, we didn't break structure, however, we got that leg down. News came out. Can't remember what news that was, but 1 a.m. we had news, so I was waiting for that. And sort of messed up the market, but once again, we got legs down. We actually ended up breaking structure off this candlestick here. We get a retracement on the 5-minute time frame. We come fill in breaker block, order block, equilibrium, whatever you want to call it. We filled in pretty much all of them. We just didn't have a fair value yet to play off of. And we had this one big imbalance here to play off of. So this was on a 1-minute time frame, and we came up, we filled in, and I actually just entered as soon as we came into the 50% mark. I knew that we'd already made a really strong bearish movement, And I figured that if I enter, I can account for the fact that we might just get a massive dump candle. It's going to give me a higher chance of being able to take a trade. And leading into this, it was so clear. We had clean price action, and I was confident that we were going to go short. So I had stops up here and a TP1 at this low for a 1.5R. So that was my first TP, just 15-minute lows. Actually, I was targeting these lows here for a 1.2. TP1, TP2, and TP3. As seen, just got completely chopped around before price sort of reversed on us. I ended up losing about $400 in this trade, which is an unfortunate situation, but overall, it was a really good entry. We had everything sitting here, and I know 90% of traders last night saw this for what I was looking at it as a bearish break and then retracement and a shit down. I never even considered the fact that after taking out highs, after creating a bearish SMT, that this would just be a retracement. It wasn't even on my mind. So is what it is. And when your mentor takes pretty much the exact same loss as you, you know that you've actually taken you have taken a good trade. So nothing to complain from last night. In terms of the first trade that I took on NQ, took a little long during London session. This was just super clear. We were sitting inside of a 4-hour bullish fair value gap upon the London session sort of playing out, and we were looking for longs. It got to about, I believe, 9 p.m. or something, and we started to get legs up. There was just a clear switch in order flow and the way that price wanted to go. Now this here was a clear sign. So I already knew we were sitting inside of this 4-hour bearish fair value gap. Coming in here, we get a break of structure on the 5-minute time frame. And if we would just go replay trading on this real quick, you see this, it's a clear change in market structure. We don't actually have anything in here to sort of retrace to. And this just led me to believe that we were going to start that bullish movement now. I never thought that it would continue all the way up to these highs. So I was sort of just targeting 1 and 2 and potentially something in here. But very clear, we've generated such good liquidity through the Asian session. Then we've broken structure on that 5-minute time frame. All I'm looking for was some sort of retracement, which we got on this next candlestick down into this fair value gap. I banged an entry off of this 1-minute break of structure inside of the fair value gap. Right here. I guess it's not even a break of structure, to be fair, because we never actually broke official structure to the downside. However, it was just a candlestick closure above this high. I gave myself a generous stop loss because I was well aware that it could be a bit of a longer term or longer time frame play. And I was originally going to hold to TP1 and TP2. I had about 4 cons in here. I ended up just cancelling my position when we got here. If I had held through this whole time, which is what I should have done, it would have smacked I'm going to put it on the 5-minute time frame. Would have smacked a good win. However, I don't want to say emotions got the best of me, but I think sense got the best of me. I was just overthinking it way too much. Obviously, in these sort of trades where you're just holding through the London session, there's not much volatility. I just folded. I saw this high here. We actually came up and took out that high on ES at the same time. So I was aware that we could, this one here. So we came up, took that high. I was aware that we could potentially reverse off of that. This ended up being a seek and destroy. So when we took that high, it exited one contract and then moved stops to trailing underneath this protected low here. This was just an equilibrium play and ended up getting stopped out. This was just a seek and destroy to sort of take us last traders out. I was used as exit liquidity for the day. But overall, made about 150 on this trade here. I caught another little trade in here off the seek and destroy, off of this retracement. We created equal highs up here and I took a little two contract scalp off of this sort of thing here. But that's beside the point. That was just a little scalp to finish the night, leading into the New York session. So I ended up losing about 250. It's not a major, and overall I've just got to be stoked that I stuck to the strategy. It was executed really well, and it was just unfortunate market conditions to say the least. I'm going to start posting more on YouTube the year. I've been taking a break lately, been analyzing how I can improve my strategy. And I think it's time to come show you guys how I can actually implement that in the charts. We've had a really good win rate through forward testing these past few days. Just unfortunate we couldn't find anything in the sort of market conditions we had this morning. But regardless, peace and love. I'm going to leave you guys. Good luck in the charts tonight. And hopefully we can get a winning trade recap out to you in the London session. Love.